Hey everybody, welcome back to the Vince Salerno podcast. This is episode 91. As always, I'm your host, Vince Salerno. Today we got a couple of stories to talk about. Not too much going on this week, at least that I wanted to discuss, but there's some different things that I want to discuss that I usually don't talk about on this show. That being Brett Cooper and the announcement of her new show, her new episode coming out, and the message that she's promoting, which I think is pretty cool and very much on point, coincidentally, with what I said last week. So we're going to talk about that. There's this Superman lawsuit that I want to get into, and a few stories that I want to share my brief thoughts on. Not that I need to expand on them because they've already been talked to death about over the past week. First, let's get into this Anthony Mackie Captain America situation. Now, I've talked a lot about how Captain America Brave New World looks like a train wreck waiting to happen. And it's a shame because I love Captain America. I love the franchise. I love the mixing of political intrigue and conspiracy and all that, government oversight, combined with this sort of science-y, fantastical element. Like, you have Bucky and Cap being super soldiers, and Winter Soldier kind of technically being a cyborg with the robot arm. Now you got, with this new film, Thunderbolt Ross being Red Hulk, science, genetic experimenting and stuff like that. It's all really cool. It's a really cool combination. It grounded in this very very weighty and scary, mysterious political intrigue and stuff like that. I just love it. I love that staple of the franchise that that Winter Soldier specifically introduced to us. And I applaud Brave New World. I want to give credit where credit is due. I applaud them for trying to go back to that formula, because we lost that with Civil War. I am one of the few people who I like Civil War. I didn't love Civil War. I think it works more as an Avengers 2.5, an Avengers movie, than it does a Captain America sequel. And in fact, I think Captain America's story gets lost in the film because they're trying to tell this bigger story about the Avengers breaking up. And I like the movie. I like what they do with the characters. It just comes down to I don't prefer it because it's not, to me, a proper Captain America film, because it doesn't focus on his character, his story, his arc. And I appreciate that they're at least trying to get back to that with Brave New World, albeit we have a new Captain America, totally new landscape for the MCU. And unfortunately, this Captain America, Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, has been facing an uphill battle because he started off his run as Captain America with the horrible Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which made the claim that no one wants to see a black Captain America because of racism in America, that America's so inherently racist, which is such a horrible premise to base your show on, insulting majority of the audience, insulting this country, implying that racism is still alive and well. The only people who, I'm going to get on my political soapbox here, but the only people who are making racism alive and well is the people who are claiming racism is still alive and well. As Morgan Freeman has said countless times in interviews, if you want to defeat racism, stop talking about it. I believe that racism still happens. I believe that racism is bad, is horrible, but it does not happen on the frequency that people think. I mean, the whole George Floyd situation was blown entirely out of proportion. And so much division is because there are people who profit off the existence of racism today. And in fact, Matt Walsh's documentary, Am I Racist?, just proves that racism is not... Racism will go away if we just stop. This whole obsession with what divides us as something as insignificant as our skin color, it really doesn't matter. What matters is we're all human beings, and because we're all human beings, because we exist, that inherently gives us all the right to be treated decently and to treat one another decently. Not because of skin color, not because of anything like that that promotes privilege, but merit and decency and kindness and goodness. That is what should compel us to want to treat each other with respect. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that the Falcon and the Winter Soldier made this ridiculous claim, which is why the show got horrible reviews, slowly lost interest in the audience, and set up this Captain America as a victim and uninteresting and unattractive to the audience. And so now you have his first full-blown movie, which people were already not looking forward to because of that. But now you have the rumors of multiple reshoots happening. You have the controversy with the character that was swapped from being an openly Israeli superhero to just being a government goon for Thunderbolt Ross. And now this new controversy, I mean, there's countless controversies and reasons why people are not happy with this film. Marvel, I think Marvel, it's clear if you watch the trailers, you can't tell me what the movie's about other than Captain America has to protect Thunderbolt Ross, but he's actually Red Hulk. So he has to protect him from himself. It's not clear what the movie's about. It's not clear what the plot is. I know there's like a deeper conspiracy and a mystery, but at least with Captain America, Winter Soldier, and even Civil War, you had a clear idea of what generally the story was going to be. This is just absolutely like nonsense. Like the trailers are just like overly stylized fanfare pieces to get the Marvel shills and fanboys riled up. Oh my gosh, Captain America's back. It doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me. But this has all been made worse by, as I'm sure you've all seen in the news, Anthony Mackie coming out in a interview, I think it was a screening somewhere abroad for Brave New World, and talking about how Captain America should not represent America. Let's play the clip.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity. Someone who is trustworthy and dependable. This is kind of like an aspect of a dream coming true. When I was a kid, all of us as actors, I believe, want to get back to that day before someone told you no. When you look out your door and you see a 5-year-old kid with a stick and he's slaying dragons to save the princess in the tower, that kid really believes there are dragons out there. That stick is really a sword and he's really trying to save that princess. And then one day somebody told him, no, there are no dragons, that's not a sword, and that princess is not there. And all of his little dreams were dashed. So, as an actor, I feel like our job is to get back to the day where we see that dragon and we slay that dragon to save that princess. And that's kind of what this movie was for me.
Now, if you've seen the whole comments about what he makes, it's quite funny because he backtracks from what he says. I mean, he might have realized, like, oh crap, I stepped on the hornet's nest and now I got to backtrack. Because then he starts talking about how this movie is about kids who grew up wanting to slay dragons and having this like innocent view of storytelling and heroism and just like wanting to be a hero. And so he backtracks from that about Captain America shouldn't represent America to this movie is for all the kids who want to grow up slaying dragons and being heroes. So I think he knows he stepped on the hornet's nest, and especially after his comments that he put out on his Instagram. I got the picture right here, a screenshot of his comments on Instagram. He says, "Let me be clear about this. I am a proud American, and taking on the shield of a hero like Cap is the honor of a lifetime. I have the utmost respect for those who serve and have served our country. Cap has universal characteristics that people all over the world can relate to." So he's obviously doing a little bit of damage control. But I don't look. Anthony Mackie has never been the problem with this movie. I love Anthony Mackie as an actor. I think he's been great in the role of the Falcon. He's a great actor in his own right. Super funny, super charismatic. I think he's even honestly he might be more entertaining in his interviews than he is in his movies. Like he's just that fun, entertaining. I mean, say what you want about that Comic-Con panel last year for Captain America. He was hyping up the crowd. They at least have a great hype man to represent this movie and try to get people excited. I'll give him that. But I think he is wrong, obviously, because Captain America is an inherently American superhero. He's supposed to represent American ideals. He's supposed to love this country. He's supposed to honor this country. He's supposed to want to be this country's example of what is possible. And let's be fair, Chris Evans said similar things, trying to distance himself from the image of Captain America. So let's see. Okay, here's this is a screenshot from somewhere from Twitter. The original quote comes from Comic Book Movies. Chris Evans on Captain America as a character. Well, to me, I'm not trying to get too lost in the America side of it. This isn't a flag waving movie. It is red, white, and blue. But it just so happens that the character was created in America during wartime when there was a common enemy, even though it is Captain America. What does that even mean? That's nonsense. I've said before in interviews, it feels more like he should just be called Captain Good. And I'm not trying to do the laugh in the brackets. I'm laughing because that's stupid. He was created at a time when there was undeniable evil, and this guy was kind of created to fight the evil, that evil. I think that everyone could agree that Nazis were bad and he, Cap, just so happens to wear the red, white, and blue. That's like saying, oh, he just wanted to fight Nazis, but he just so happened to be wearing red, white, and blue at the time. People were like, oh, America, America, America. That doesn't make any sense. So let's not forget that Chris Evans, who has done a phenomenal job of playing Captain America and a generally good job of representing the character off screen, he said stupid stuff before. I mean, they're both probably. I mean, Chris Evans is definitely a liberal. Anthony Mackie is probably a liberal too. To his credit, though, he did say that someone asked him a question about the comparison. Is there a comparison or direct correlation between Red Hulk and Donald Trump? Which is so freaking stupid that the media is even continuing to push this narrative. But to his credit, Mackie said this: "I hope as a country we're tired of all the political jousting. Let's just go to the movies and chill the F out. We could have made this mother effer yellow, and it would have been a problem." So, look, do I think Anthony Mackie inherently hates America, inherently hates the character, and is trying to undermine the most essential part of him? Absolutely not. I think he is because Hollywood is stupid, and Hollywood hates America's core values. I think he's trying to play nice with Hollywood, but nowadays Hollywood has to play nice with the audience because the audience is in control. We are the media, as Elon Musk has said. And I think that Anthony Mackie's comments today compared to Chris Evans' comments back then, completely different time. America was not so vehemently hated when Chris Evans made those comments. As far as I'm aware, I don't know exactly when he made those comments. Nowadays, I feel like if Chris Evans were still in the role and he said that, he'd be getting just as much hate as Anthony Mackie. I don't think either one of them hate America. I do think they are not a fan of what maybe the current establishment of America represents, which is their right. They're absolutely wrong, but it is their right to disagree with that. So I don't think we should cancel Anthony Mackie. I wish him well. I think he knows he screwed up. And I hope he comes to the fullness of truth and realizes just how bad we had it under Biden and Kamala, and how much better things are and will be under Donald Trump in this new administration. My hope is that these people come to see the benefits of what we've been talking about all this time. We'll get into that a little bit. That leads into kind of the Brett Cooper story, but we're not ready to talk about that. So I went a little over time with that story, but that's all to say, I don't think we should be canceling or lambasting Anthony Mackie for anything he's been saying. I think we should definitely hold these people accountable to represent the core values of the character, and if they don't like them, then they should just shut up about them. Don't talk about America. Just talk about what you like about the character. Don't talk about what you don't like about the character if you really don't like America that much. Okay, sorry for the random change in quality. My computer just informed me that our internet is not working right now, so I have to record the rest of this on my phone. So I apologize for the dip in quality. Let's get back to what we were talking about, or at least what we were about to talk about, which is the Fantastic Four. So this came up on Discussing Film, or apparently on Good Morning America. This tweet that I found is from Discussing Film, and it says that the Fantastic Four trailer, or teaser trailer, either one, is going to be premiering on Good Morning America this Tuesday. Now, we're recording this on a Saturday, so I hope this gets out before Tuesday. It'd be really embarrassing if it didn't. If there is a confirmation that the trailer comes out on Tuesday, then I will make sure to update this episode. Well, this is all interesting because I thought that Marvel would prefer to promote Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts, but it looks like they're just going to probably promote the Thunderbolts. I've heard that for the Super Bowl, to be specific. I think I forgot to mention that. I think that there's several trailers that are going to come out for Super Bowl, Jurassic World, or Jurassic Park 6, 7, whichever Jurassic Park this is. The next Megan movie, that robot doll movie. No Superman trailer, stuff like nothing like that. But I think the Fantastic Four is going to be the big one. It's going to be the Deadpool and Wolverine of the Super Bowl trailers, which is exciting because I'm excited. I'm excited for Fantastic Four. As I said, the only thing I'm not excited about is the casting of Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. I think that's not a good casting choice. I don't think he exudes Reed Richards at all. Physically, I mean, character-wise, acting-wise, he might impress me. So we'll see. He's a great actor in his own right, of course, but not fantastic, not Mr. Fantastic in any way. I was really rooting for Penn Badgley or heck, even John Krasinski. But again, we'll see. I'm excited. I like the cast. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm. Joseph Quinn as the Human Torch. Ibn Moss Backrack as the Thing. They got Galactus in there. They've got all the 60s hallmarks of Fantastic Four. I think this is something that people have wanted to see for a long time. They've wanted to see a Fantastic Four movie with the 60s elements, the 60s aspects of this franchise that gave the franchise its name. So I think people are going to be very impressed by that. So we'll see. We'll see if they're impressed by that. I'm excited. I have my hesitations, obviously, with Marvel, with the casting, but I am prepared to be proven wrong. I would love to be proven wrong. So we'll see what happens with Fantastic Four, if the trailer comes out, or if we got to wait a little longer. The next thing I wanted to talk about, some of the main stories that I wanted to discuss today. This is kind of unusual because I don't typically talk about these things, but I've been talking about them more and more on the show. And this just so happens to be particularly relevant to things that I was saying last week on my show in terms of positivity and welcoming people from opposing viewpoints and people who have who don't like us, who have lambasted us as conservatives, as supporters of Donald Trump over the years. Brett Cooper just came out with her first episode of her brand new series, Post the Daily Wire, The Brett Cooper Show. It's seen phenomenal success. It the first release of the first episode drove her channel up to over 1 million subscribers. The episode is, I think, at 2 million views right now on YouTube. Just phenomenal success for a phenomenal person in conservative media. I think she really changed the landscape of what conservative media can look like, from just doing like shorter videos as opposed to like a whole 20, 30, 40-minute show, to the way she talks about things. I think it really hits Gen Z, obviously, and I think it appeals to a younger audience. Even, 29 years old myself, it really excites me because I'm always been an optimist. I'm always been about positivity and optimism and looking towards hope and looking towards the future, with hope in our hearts. And also compassion and forgiveness for those who have wronged us, who have done wrong by us. And Brett Cooper, in her new episode, made the whole episode about that. The episode, I believe, is titled, We Need to Talk About Conservative Cancel Culture. And she says some things that I just love and agree with so much. She talks about, particularly she mentions Mark Zuckerberg, and how obviously he was very much a liberal leftist. He was all on the censorship, disinformation, going up against President Trump, and especially during Biden's administration, cracking down on social media accounts that were speaking quote-unquote disinformation, and things that just the conservative movement disagreed with. I mean, I lost my Facebook and my Instagram accounts because of something I didn't even say. I retweeted a post or shared a post on Facebook, and Facebook completely scrubbed me from their services. And it was a loss. The hardest thing is I had to refriend all my friends and track them down. And I lost a lot of posts. I lost a lot of engagement, especially I had lost my public account that I post a lot of my content on for this show, for my movies, and just general interacting with people. And I have a private account that I don't let anybody who is not close to me follow. But I lost all that. It was a blessing in disguise, because if anything, it's like a fresh start. As far as social media is concerned, there were some things that I probably put out there that I'm not happy about, or maybe a little embarrassed by. So it was nice to get that fresh start. But still, like I am one of many people who have suffered from Facebook's censorship, and I'm not even saying that I suffered greater than others. Like a lot of people lost a lot. Some people probably lost their livelihoods, like their businesses, and their ability to reach out to people because of Facebook. So I did, suffer consequences for my innocent action of sharing something, but there are people who suffered way more than I did. Anyways, point being, Zuckerberg has shared on several posts, and Brett Cooper lays it out very well, how he has slowly kind of come to the realization of like maybe supporting President Trump, and it seems like he's genuine in that he wants to fix the censorship problems that Facebook and Instagram have had. And he's getting rid of all the fact checkers and taking a page out of Elon Musk's book and replacing them with community notes, which I think is a really good move. And I think trying to make the service relevant again, because Facebook hasn't been relevant for years. But this is just one of many examples that she cites. She talks about Whitney Cummings and how she changed her mind. She was very pro-vax, very liberal starting out, and now she, after everything that's happened, after becoming a mother, after her little political stunt on, not a political stunt, her comedic stunt on New Year's Eve on CNN, she has kind of changed her mind on some things, where she's not necessarily, I don't know if she would say she's conservative, but she is definitely conservative leaning, Democrat, conservative leaning. I don't know. These days, a lot of Democrats are leaning towards conservative ideas, conservative thinking. But I want to play this clip from Brett's show that kind of highlights everything she's saying in this episode so well. So let's play this clip.
I know that there are people who disagree and they want to see these companies who have made wrong turns, who have made bad decisions, they want to see them completely destroyed, canceled, ended, bankruptcy, never to be seen again. But I actually completely disagree. Like, I want to see companies change and be better and come back stronger and actually listen to their consumers. Like, I think about companies like Disney. Disney is an incredibly important company and has been for generations. It has changed thousands and thousands of lives. It has changed the direction of so many different industries. It would be a shame to see it be completely destroyed. But I do think it should be better. I think that they should actually listen to their audience and listen to their consumers who pay their bills. That is what needs to change. Like, I don't want to lose integral and historical and important parts of American society simply because I'm bitter and I've been burned.
So after I played that clip, the internet came back. So thank you, Brett Cooper. I think she's absolutely right. I love what she says. I think that we, as conservatives, should want to conserve these companies that are titans of change and titans of innovation and showing what's possible. They are part of our culture, and we should want them to reject the wrong decisions they made. We should want them to reconcile and repent of what they've done and change. And Mark Zuckerberg is a perfect example of that. Whitney Cummings is a perfect example of that. These are people who have changed their minds on things. Look at RFK Jr., look at Tulsi Gabbard, look at Elon Musk. These are people who 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that, would have considered themselves adamantly liberal leftists, totally aligned with the Democratic Party despite how crazy things were. And they just reach their wits' end. And now you see a lot of sane Democrats coming onto the side of conservatives and Republicans. And I don't even like to use the term Republicans because even that's kind of not reflective of what conservatives want. So we should want people to change their minds and come to the, as I said last week, we should want people to change their minds and come to the fullness of truth. And when I say fullness of truth, I'm just talking about specifically for me, like religious truth, coming to that which is good, true, and beautiful objectively. But we should want people to change their minds, not agree adamantly about everything, but realize just how wonderful things can be under a Trump administration and how awful things were under a Biden administration. And like she talks about Disney as a perfect example. I've said this before, and I feel like I've been alone in saying this. I don't want Disney to go away. Like, I don't want Disney to all of a sudden just stop existing and we never get to see the characters and the innovation and the stories that they have been telling over the years, because in between some of the bullcrap that they've been doing, there are some good movies to pull out of their filmography. And they are a integral part and responsible for the success of certain franchises that are beloved, like Marvel and I almost said Star Wars, but there hasn't been a lot that has come out in Star Wars except for maybe The Mandalorian that people are really into. I'm not going to get into another Star Wars spiel. If I talk about Star Wars, I'm not going to stop. But I just love everything she said. I think it is a representation of what Gen Z and millennials and just our younger generations want. We're tired of this smearing and this bitterness and this anger and not having open conversations about what we're seeing. We want to have conversations about these things. We want to talk about what's happening in our culture and promote goodness and change in our hearts and our souls and in our country. And I think there are a lot of people, liberal and conservative or Republican or Democrat, however you want to classify it, who would rather spill each other's blood than reach a hand across the aisle and actually want real change and real unity. And I wrote an article for The Blaze. It hasn't come out yet. I hope it comes out by the time this episode is out. Maybe I'll cover it on the podcast. There is an article that I wrote about how Hollywood should adopt Trump's call to unity, because we have, as conservatives, I think we all want whatever benefit we get from Trump's administration, we want that for everybody. Whether you were against Trump, whether you hate Trump or not, everyone should benefit from America. Everyone should play by the rules, but everyone should benefit as long as they are promoting that which is good, true, and beautiful. So well done, Brett Cooper. I'm so happy you're back. So sorry for everything that's happened to you at the Daily Wire, if rumors are true. But I am so happy to see you bounce back. I look forward to seeing what you do with the rest of your show and the rest of your platform. And congratulations on all the success that you've had and the success you certainly will have in the future. So welcome back. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get out of here. This is an article from Deadline, and we're just going to go through this. Superman estate sues Warner Brothers Discovery, DC Comics to block release in key territories. The estate of Superman creator Joseph Shuster is suing Warner Brothers Discovery and its DC Comics, claiming it lacks the rights to release the upcoming summer tentpole in a handful of key territories. Plaintiff Mark Warren Perry, executor to the estate, filed the suit yesterday, that was Friday, in federal court in the South District of New York, seeking damages and injunction relief for defendants' ongoing infringement in Canada, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia, as well as declaratory relief establishing the Schuster estate's ownership across relevant jurisdictions. Oh, this is interesting. Warner and Perry and his longtime legal team have been in court rather often before this, most recently regarding termination rights under the U.S. Copyright Act. But the automatic foreign copyright revision issue in this case did not occur until years later, said Mark Toberoff, attorney for the estate, and was never actually litigated. Now it will be. A Warner Brothers Discovery spokesperson said, "We fundamentally disagree with the merits of the lawsuit and will vigorously defend our rights. Issues are foreign copyrights. At issue are foreign copyrights to the original Superman character and story, co-authored by Jerome Siegel and Schuster, though Siegel and Schuster assigned worldwide Superman rights to DC's predecessor in 1938 for a mere $130, $65 each. The copyright laws for countries with the British legal tradition, including Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, and Australia, contain provisions automatically terminating such assignments 25 years after the author's death, vesting in the Schuster estate the co-author's undivided copyright interest in such countries," the suit said. Schuster passed away in 1992 and Siegel in 1996. By operation of law, Schuster's foreign copyright automatically reverted to his estate in 2017 in most of these territories and in 2021 in Canada. Yet defendants continue to exploit Superman across these jurisdictions without the Schuster estate's authorization, including in motion pictures, television series, and merchandise, in direct contravention of these countries' copyright laws, which require the consent of all joint copyright owners to do so. This is interesting. This is also followed up by literally last week. It seems that Sunday, not Sunday, Saturday, the weekend. It seems that the weekend is always a time when people are trying to attack Superman. Last week on Sunday, there was a new TV spot released for the Superman film, and people were going after this one shot of, it was a new shot of David Corenswet as Superman, and people said the shot looked weird, janky, CGI, bad CGI or whatever, unpolished, and people were like, this movie's gonna suck because of that. I think it's ridiculous. It's a really outlandish claim to claim one shot is going to destroy a film. I mean, people have the right to not be excited for the movie, but give me a break. Grow up. I think that that shot in particular, it didn't look polished, didn't look finished. Is it indicative of the whole movie? I doubt it. Maybe they have some work to do yet on that shot. They thought it was good enough to put out there, and I guess it was just a bad call. Because I do think it looks a little off, but that's not David Cornsweat's fault, and he looks great in the character. I love the intention of the shot. I love the twirl, and I think he's trying to be hopeful in that scene, or happy, or he's determined. I think because maybe it's just not really polished of a shot, it does come off as almost an AI looking shot because it's a very expressionless shot. It doesn't look like he's emoting any particular emotion other than just general contentment. And that's not David Cornsweat's fault. I don't blame that on him. I'm very excited for what he does with this role. I've seen a lot of clips of his acting in various projects, and I'm ready to be wowed by him because I think he is a great actor, really good actor. So it's just funny that these controversies keep coming out. I mean, I think there are people who want to see this movie fail. I don't think that everybody wants to see this movie fail. I just think there is a lot of weird animosity towards James Gunn and the fact that Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore. I don't think this has anything to do with that per se. I mean, maybe someone tried to convince him to tank the movie. I don't know. I don't know. Hollywood is a weird place. So I have a lot of weird people with big egos who are obsessed with money, which is the root of all evil, as we've seen detailed in Candace Owens's unofficial investigation into the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds case, which now includes Taylor Swift. It's just everyone's involved in that thing. My gosh, might as well throw in Superman, honestly. Hollywood's a strange, weird, and very self-absorbing place. People want money, people want ownership, people want what they want. They're entitled. Big egos clashing over a lot of things. Now, I do think the Superman estate is fully within their rights to claim what's theirs. I mean, they are the creators, they are the right holders to Superman. I'm always going to defend the little guy over the big corporation with millions and millions of dollars. So I know you're kind of in the water, Warner Brothers Discovery. I know that you don't have a lot of money, kind of in debt. It's probably why you couldn't afford to put out a Superman teaser for the Super Bowl. Never mind, it's one of the most anticipated films of the year, and you don't have enough money to put out a Super Bowl trailer. Whatever. Again, it's all very confusing for a non-legal expert like myself. But if they think they're within their rights and Warner Brothers can remedy the situation without just, oh, whatever, we're going to dismiss this lawsuit, it's going to be pushed under the rug, no problem. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm not a legal expert. I don't even know how to really properly talk about this, but I'm rooting for the little guy. I'm rooting for the creators of Superman, who are probably within their rights, I hope. And that's it. That's all we got for today's show. I apologize for the constant changing in quality. My internet connection cut out randomly all across the house, so I had to jump on my phone and my data and then back on here. So I'm glad that we were able to finish out the show somewhat consistently. So either way, I hope that doesn't take away from your enjoyment of this episode. Whatever we talked about today, if you guys have thoughts, comments, if you agree or disagree, let me know. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Thank you for watching and listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. You can check out my short films, trailer reactions, and other episodes of the Salerno podcast. We will be back hopefully next week. We're on a roll, 3 weeks in a row with a new episode. So we'll hopefully be back next week with a new episode. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a fantastic day. God bless and peace out.